Here's a very nice version of the hexaflexagon that Rick Faraday made many years ago, but a tiny one. I've got much bigger ones than these. These are miniature. And they rotate round like a toroidal ring, and that turns into that, and then goes back into that. Extraordinary, isn't it? They look very, very pretty. And they incorporate springs in them, which the spring is just acting as a way of securing the ends, the sharp ends of the pieces. So there's nothing sharp out there, but they hold them very nicely. And the way of doing it by spring is very attractive. So let me just show you on a good working surface here what they look like that. And then I'll manipulate them to show how this will turn into a cube when I turn it like that, a little bit like that. A little bit more like that. Now we've got a triangle. And turn it a bit further. Oops, and the triangles come up out of the paper a bit, like they are. Now the triangles come lifted out of the paper. Turn a bit more, and it's becoming a closing of a triangle in the middle there, which is very nice. And a little bit more, and this suddenly it becomes the same shape as this thing here. Let's get it in the same position. It's identical to that now. So each of them turns into each other, and they can be nestled together, which is a very nice effect. So this is a superb use of spring metal, making little springs and little struts to create this wonderful effect of the hexaflexagon, which moves so beautifully into different shapes. And certainly it's very surprising to see a cube becoming a triangle like that. It's a lovely use of springs, I think. There's a very, very different use of springs, which is this thing here. I'll see if I can hear this up the camera. It's a finger ring, actually. You actually put it on your finger, but it's not just for wearing. It's actually for exercises. The idea is, can you see it's got little angular bits to it there? So it's not a smooth thing. It's got little angles to it, but purposely. The idea is to put it on your finger of your hand like that. And you don't just leave it there. You've got to use some exercising now. You've got to do a bit of this. That's the idea of it. It actually exercises the finger. If you've got a stiff joint here, for instance, it'll help to alleviate the stiff joint. Put it onto another one. We'll put it onto this one here. And it also massages the string. It's supposed to be a good massager too. So it's entirely used not as a finger ring, but for a little gadget to put in your pocket and fiddle with, I suppose. But it does a bit of some therapy for you, for keep your fingers comfortable. So interesting use of the spring and all little angular bits to it to make it actually operate. Interesting. There's a charming idea for a spring top here because this is something that's got two springs to it. I'll hold up the camera and see if we can show the mechanism. So we've got two springs. We've got a spring inside there, which has got a twisting spring, and this one here, which is a compression spring. And the idea is to make it hop, or make it do it on a hop on the table. You wind it up like this, the usual way. That there's probably enough. Bring it down, and then push the button. It bounces and then it settles down and spins very nicely. It's on a tiny metal point, and due to instability, it does all sorts of hops and skips and jumps before it comes to a halt. There's a lot of interesting things going on there, a lot of chaos, a lot of chaotic motion, but the basic idea I have a hopping spring with a spring here and a spring here is very nice indeed. And that lovely initial spring version is charming. I think also this is one of these, yes, it's a whistling top, so if you did a much harder twist to start with and it went faster, it would whistle, make a whistling sound as well. So that's a very clever bit of technology, and also tin toy as well, but still made. The last item is a most peculiar item which I picked up from the NAEF company about 20 years ago. This is quite weird. It consists of a spring, a big spring, with a wooden yellow ball at each end. Why on earth? Why on earth? But hang on, there's more to it, because you're also provided with two of these, which are like UFOs, like flying saucers. What do you do with it? Well, I've got two of them, and I'll do one and then the other one. You're supposed to put this into the coils like this, push it in, and then let go and see what happens. Get it out of the frame and bring it down a bit. Actually, I'm going to have it like that. Then right, we let go and see what happens. Oh, yes, of course. It's going to go on down and down and down and down And that ball at the bottom it's coming towards is adding a bit of weight. I'll steady it a bit and take it all the way down to the bottom. And all you do then is turn it over and it'll go the other way. But I'll put the other one in as well to have a bit of fun. What a bizarre idea this is. So I set it going, start with a new top. We'll have the other one standing by. As soon as it's going, I'm not sure which is the faster one. Actually, one of them will overtake, I think. I think the slower ones. This is going to overtake it, I think. Yeah, look at that. Oh, look, Speedy coming down. Gonzalez is coming down. He's going to get there first. Oh, he wants to get past. Can't do that. Never mind. But isn't that a weird idea, that? Most peculiar. I've never seen it since then. It was about 1991 that it came out at Nuremberg. And I bought them thinking, what on earth? And put them away. And I have to say, I mostly neglected to use them because they're such a bizarre thing. A spring, 2 balls with end pieces, and 2 little UFOs, all made by NAEF. Certainly the oddest spring toys I've ever come across.